everyone, it's Hailey, and today is Bookmas Day 27, so I'm going to be sharing all of the books that I have pre-ordered that are coming out in 2022. Before we get into the video, don't forget to click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post. I'm putting up a new video every single day for the entire month of December, which is almost over, but I will be posting a new video 3 times a week after that, so there still will be new things. Yesterday for Bookmas Day 26, I shared all of the books that are on my TBR pile, so I will link that down below for you guys, as well as the entire Bookmas playlist so you guys can get caught up if you have missed anything. But today I'm going to be talking about the books that I will be adding to that TBR pile in 2022, and let me tell you, there's a lot of them. If you guys don't know, I've kind of mentioned it a couple of times, but I do like a massive pre-order at the beginning of the year and sometimes at the middle of the year as well. Basically, I get a coupon for my birthday from Indigo, which makes it so everything is 30% off of one order. Now, that is always, my birthday is November 30th, so I have to use it in November, which is perfect because then I can pre-order for 2022 or like the next year. And what happens is, and I don't know if it's just at Indigo or if other places do this, but it's a good way to kind of try and save some money on books. I will make this massive pre-order and it doesn't charge until the book actually ships. So I'm saving a lot of money because I still get 30% off because I used it when I had that coupon, but the money doesn't it's not like I'm spending all of that huge chunk of money right at once. I hope that makes sense, but I will try and do it twice a year because obviously there's not all the books that are coming out in 2022 are available for pre-order yet. So sometimes they'll have a coupon at summer or spring, which is perfect because then I can kind of order for the second half of the year. If not, I'll just pick out those books, I'll actually order them when I do my massive pre-order, if that makes any sense. Also, if there's a book that I'm kind of interested in but not sure, and it's out right now and it's out in hardcover, I'll try and pre-order the paperback sometimes because then I'll still get the 30% off. That was just a little quick money saving tip for you guys. I hope it made sense though. I feel like it's kind of confusing to try and explain, but it definitely works out for me. It helps me save a lot of money since I'm getting so many books all the time. It works out nicely. But today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I have pre-ordered, and there are 66 of them, so there's quite a few, and I'm not going to be giving you a full synopsis, but what I have done is made an elevator pitch, which an elevator pitch is just a quick 1 or 2 sentence. I think it's actually supposed to be 1, but just a quick thing telling you what to expect from the book. So it's the quickest synopsis possible. I thought that made more sense than just sitting here rattling off all of the titles and everything. It gives you a little bit more to go off of, and then you can get excited about these new releases too and look more into them and what the full synopsis is. Sometimes on Goodreads too, they have a little summary of the synopsis at the top in bold, and I just wrote that down if they had that because it was really helpful for me, because coming up with that an elevator pitch for 66 books and some of the synopsises are really confusing, it's a challenge. So I did sometimes just do that, which might be cheating, but oh well. Don't feel bad if you're not able to pre-order books as well, but it does really help out the authors if you pre-order. It is a way to help them get to the bestsellers list, and it's a good way to support authors if you are able to, but don't feel bad at all if you can't. All of that being said, let's get into the video. So I'm just gonna read the title and then the elevator pitch. I'm not gonna say next is blah 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 because we'll be here forever. I will say first though, because I feel that makes sense. So first is Bet on It by Jodie Slaughter. This is about a girl who meets her favorite bingo buddy's semi-estranged grandson, and this is an interesting way to start, but the two of them end up making a bingo-based sex pact to try and keep things between them under control. That's literally all I got from the synopsis, so very intrigued. Anatomy by Dana Schwartz. This is a gothic tale full of mystery and romance following a willful female surgeon, a resurrection man who sells bodies for a living, and the buried secrets they must uncover together. So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. This is a fantasy about what happens after the chosen one wins the kingdom, but has to get married to keep it and to stay alive. So it's Carry On meets Arthurian legend. Arthurian? Arthurian. I don't know what happened there. Some Mistakes Were Made by Kristen Dwyer. This is about two friends who were torn apart after a move, and they haven't spoken since. They were inseparable, and now they haven't spoken in a year, but the one friend ends up coming back, and they are forced to deal with a lot of the heartbreak and struggles that the two of them had when they separated. This Vicious Grace by Emily Theed. This is about a character who has the ability to magnify her partner's powers, but it hasn't really worked out that way. Instead, it has been 3 weddings and 3 funerals, and her island home is about to be devoured by demons, which is obviously pretty problematic. So she ends up hiring a personal bodyguard who actually might be the only key to survival. Sophie and the Bone Song by Adrienne Tooley. This is a queer fantasy about a young musician who is setting out to expose her rival for illegal use of magic, but she only finds out that the deception goes deeper than she ever could have even imagined. Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. A steamy message from a wrong number ends up turning into an anonymous relationship that they describe as textual, which I think is very funny, but in this rom-com. Savvy Sheldon Feels Good as Hell by Taj McCoy. This is a rom-com about a plus-size heroine who gets a total life makeover after a really bad breakup. This is, of course, with the help of an irresistible cast of friends and family, a kitchen reno, and a devastatingly handsome contractor. Set on You by Amy Lee. This is a gym nemesis romance. So this guy keeps on stealing the main character's favorite squat rack, and, you know, it's little enemies to lovers in there. American Royalty by Tracy Livesay. This is about a prince who wants to live out of the spotlight, but he ends up falling in love with an American rapper who turns his life and the palace upside down. The Dream Runners by Shveta Thakrar. In this book, you follow 2 characters who are involved in the world of dream runners, and dream runners are these children who were taken and they lost their memories and ability to feel emotion, and now they go and they steal dreams of human children to feed their gods, I guess, but you're seeing 2 characters and the corruption of this. The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas. This is a book about teen semidioses who compete in a competition. Well, yes, they compete in a competition, but it's a series of 5 different challenges with the highest of stakes, and it is a Mexican-inspired fantasy. And it also features a trans main character. Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley. This is about a reality star and a cupcake baking football player who pretend to have a relationship to save his failing bakery. Oh, I love it already. Meet Me in the Margins by Melissa Ferguson. This is about an editor at a publishing house that only really publishes like literary fiction, that kind of uppity sort of thing, and she actually has a secret, which is that she is writing a romance novel. She ends up forgetting her manuscript somewhere at work, and then someone actually edits it and leaves notes in the margins, so she's trying to figure out who her anonymous editor is. Tokyo Dreaming by Emiko Jean. This is, of course, the sequel to Tokyo Ever After, and I'm really excited about it, which is essentially Princess Diaries, but in Japan. Salam with Love by Sarah Sharaf Beg. This story follows Dua as she spends the month of Ramadan making some unexpected discoveries about faith, family, and first love. Trouble Girls by Julia Lynn Rubin. This is described as a queer YA Me Too reimagining of Thelma and Louise with the aesthetic of Riverdale. The Romantic Agenda by Claire Kahn. I need to read this one, I'm sorry, because it's a lot, but it's a tangled web of romance. So we have the main character who is asexual, her name's Joy, and she's in love with Malcolm, and Malcolm likes Summer, and Summer is in love with Love, and Fox is Summer's ex-boyfriend. So it's just gonna be, from my understanding, like a romantic, lots of things happening. Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. But this book follows a teen girl as she navigates the end of high school, friendship, drama, and discovering her queerness. If You Change Your Mind by Robbie Weber, who, if you don't know from Bookstagram, he's amazing. I love Robbie. He's such a nice guy. But his debut is about an aspiring screenwriter who discovers that love sometimes follows its own script. How to Live Without You by Sarah Everett. This is a coming-of-age story about family, grief, and second chances, and it follows the main character as she returns to her home to uncover the truth about her sister's disappearance. Four Aunties and a Wedding by Jessie Q. Sutanto, which is of course the sequel to Dial A for Aunties, so I am so excited for this one, and I love the cover so much. Twice as Perfect by Louise Oname. I'm super excited for this one because it follows a Nigerian-Canadian main character, and she's dealing with an estranged older brother. She's trying to help plan her sister's massive Nigerian wedding, and also on top of all all of that, dealing with the massive pressure from her parents about the future. She Gets the Girl by H.leblanc and Allison Derrick. This is a hate-to-love rom-com about two girls who set out with this 5-step plan to try and woo their crushes, but in the process they kind of end up falling for each other. Zyla and Kai by Christina Forrest. This is a star-crossed love story about not just will they, won't they, but why can't they? Dun dun dun. Sometime in Summer by Katrina Leno. This book is a tender love letter to books and summertime with a touch of magic. With and Without You by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. This latest YA love story by this romance author duo who actually is a couple themselves, but they are now writing a story about a long distance relationship, which is really cool because I've never seen that, and it is inspired by their own romantic history. Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. This is a darkly gripping contemporary fantasy in which secrets, lies, witchcraft, and super bad choices make up the whole story. Gold Mountain by Betty G. Yee. This is set in 1867 and it follows a 15-year-old girl who disguises herself as a boy and embarks on a journey from China to America to work on the Transcontinental Railroad. The Red Palace by June Her. This is set in 1758 in Korea and you follow a main character who is an illegitimate daughter, so it's really hard for her to find work, but she finally ends up finding a job, but then she is thrust into the dark and dangerous world of court politics when someone murders 4 women in a single night and her friend and mentor is the only subject. Not subject, suspect. Wow. Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandria Bellefleur. This is a queer rom-com about 2 best friends who might just be each other's second chance at love. Ooh! I'm already excited. See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon, which I now realize is not a sequel to Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. The cover just looks so similar, so I didn't realize that. This book, however, is a magical romance about a teen girl who is forced to keep on reliving her disastrous first day of college. And while she's stuck in this time loop, she discovers that actually her arch nemesis is stuck in the time loop with her. Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. This is about a magical hotel and a girl who ends up discovering the dark secrets that it's hiding. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is about a by-the-book literary agent who must decide if it's worth changing her entire life for love. I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys. This book is set in 1989 in Romania when communism is crumbling and this character wants to be a writer, but they have to follow all these rules and force, and they end up being faced with the decision of betraying everyone that they know or using a position of power that they found themselves in to try and help those that they love. One True Loves by Elise Bryan. This is a YA rom-com full of self-discovery, black love, and a European cruise. It's All in How You Fall by Sarah Henning. This is about a gymnast who has chronic back pain and then she ends up suffering from this career-ending injury, and this guy who loves a bunch of sports, he decides to play matchmaker with her and try and find a sport that works for her that she can love and get back into being active again. Kiss and Tell by Adib Khorram. This is about a boy band star and his first breakup and his first rebound and what it means to be queer in the public eye. Love from Scratch by Caitlin Hill. This is about a girl who takes an internship, and this internship also has the opportunity to get a fall job, but she ends up having her arch nemesis as her only competition for this internship, and the two of them engage in this baking battle. Not even just baking, actually, it's just a cooking battle. The Rumor Game by Danielle Clayton and Sona Chairai-Potra. This book is really about how rumors can fly and change things, and it is set at a boarding school for DC's elite children. Not a boarding school, it's just a private school. I mixed that up. I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. This is a YA rom-com about chasing down what you need only to find what you want. All That's Left in the World by Eric J. Brown. This is a survival story set in a post-apocalyptic world where 2 boys, they have lost everyone, but they are somehow drawn to each other and able to trust each other despite everything. Echoes and Empires by Morgan Rhodes. This is about a snarky 17-year-old who must team up with an enigmatic criminal to cure herself of dangerous forbidden magic. I'm just gonna read the rest because I realized how many I have left and I've already been filming for so long, so I apologize. The Bone Spindle by Leslie Veeder. This is Indiana Jones meets Sleeping Beauty in a thrilling lesbian fairy tale retelling. Right Where I Left You by Julian Winters, which is a geeky best friends to lovers romance. That sounds great. Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen. This is about a morally gray witch and a cursed prince and a prophecy that ignites their fate-twisted destinies. My Sister's Big Fat Indian Wedding by Sajni Patel. This is a fresh, witty rom-com romp set against the backdrop of a high-profile music competition and a riotous Indian wedding. That sounds awesome. I think I just said that like a couple times ago, but honestly, all these books sound so good. The Roughest Draft, which is also by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund, broke up, but this is actually their first adult romance. And this is about they were co-writing literary darlings until they hit a plot hole that turned their life upside down. And now they need to write a romance novel together again. Dun dun dun! An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan, which is a Romeo and Juliet retelling meets Chinese mythology. Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon as well, so she also has 2 books coming out this year. But this is an adult romance, and it's about a TV meteorologist and a sports reporter who scheme to reunite their divorced bosses with unforecasted results. All My Rage by Saba Tahir is a heart-wrenching contemporary about family and forgiveness, love and loss, in a sweeping story that crosses generations and continents. Blood Scion by Deborah Fillet. This follows a descendant of ancient gods who rises through the ranks and gains strength, but in doing so, risks losing herself and becoming the monster she abhors. Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion is of course the sequel to Legendborn, so really excited about that one. The Ivory Key by Akshaya Raman. This is about magic, which is a prized resource and the only thing between peace and war. When magic runs out, 4 estranged royal siblings must find a new source before their country is swallowed by invading forces. And this is actually an Indian-inspired fantasy. Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. This is inspired by the legend of the Chinese moon goddess, in which a young woman's quest to free her mother pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm. This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi is inspired by Persian mythology, and it features clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen destined to save her people, and it's supposed to be an epic romantic fantasy. The Lost Dreamer by Liz Huarta. This is inspired by ancient Mesoamerica, and you are introduced to a lineage of seers defiantly resisting the shifting patriarchal state that would see them destroyed. 1,000 Steps Into Night by Tracy Chi is a Japanese-influenced fantasy that is brimming with demons, adventure, and plans gone awry. When You Get the Chance by Emma Lord. I was interested in this book because I have read her other 2 books, but this one just seems so cool because it is a gender bent Mamma Mia, and like, I love Mamma Mia. So the main character, Millie, she dreams of being a Broadway star, and she's trying to find out who her mom is, and there's like 3 different candidates. She finds the live journal of her father, and then tries to find who her mother is. Oh, I'm so excited for that one. You Truly Assumed by Layla Sabrine. So after a terrorist attack rocks America and anti-Islamic sentiment stirs, 3 Black Muslim girls create a space where they can shatter assumptions and share truths. A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin. This is about a girl who unknowingly brewed poison tea that killed her mother and now threatens to take her sister as well. So she ends up entering a competition to find the kingdom's greatest master of the ancient and magical art of tea making. Master of Iron by Trisha Levenseller is the conclusion to the Blade of Secrets. The Bladesmith duology is what it's called, but it is the sequel to Blade of Secrets. My Imaginary Mary by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. This is the latest in the My Lady Jane, like that sort of series, except now it's Mary's, but this is an electric, poetic, and almost historical tale of Mary Shelley. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio is about a homeland that it's been cursed by the sea god, and they try to appease the sea god by offering a true bride, and the main character's brother's bride is going to be the next one. So the main character ends up throwing herself in that other girl. I don't know, like, there's so many words trying to describe that, but that other girl's place. We're on the last 2. I'm sorry that I read the last few, but like, it's been a long time. But I will be giving you guys further synopsises for some of these books that are on my most anticipated and such videos. Always Jane by Jen Bennett. This is about a chauffeur's daughter who finds herself in the middle of a love triangle with the sons of her boss's wealthy next door neighbors. And finally, Love Boat Reunion by Abigail Hing Wen. This is the companion to Love Boat Taipei, which I read last year, and actually no, it was the year before, wasn't it? When did I read that book? It's been a long time, but I really enjoyed that book when I did read it. And this is actually following Sophie and Xavier as they reconnect and rewrite their own futures. Okay, so that was a super long list, but I hope it gave you an idea of some of the books that are coming out next year that I was the most excited about, because obviously they're the ones that I pre-ordered. It's looking like it's going to be an amazing year. I always love doing this video because it just makes me so excited for the new books that are coming out. So tomorrow for Bookmas Day 28, I'm going to be sharing my 5-star predictions for next year. So the books that I think I'm really going to love, and it will be a mix of books that are coming out and books that I already have on my TBR pile that I'm gonna try and finally read. And I think I'll give 5 stars. I mean, I don't give ratings anymore, but like, you know what I mean. So don't forget to subscribe so then you don't miss that. And I will see you guys in another new video tomorrow. Bye!